consent, you understand, okay, before we hear from the public, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Planning Commission met in July. We heard quite a bit of comments from the communities on things that they wanted to have addressed. I tried to go back and put those into order. One of them was they thought we should call a moratorium on the solar energy before and then follow up with a solar ordinance. However, according to the zoning procedures law, a solar farm is an associated use in an ag district. When anyone is putting in a subdivision, which would be connected with a solar farm, they are required to go through a special exception. I have reviewed the Georgia Model Code from Georgia Tech, University of Georgia, and the Turner Environmental Law Group, as well as the solar ordinances from Albany and Thomasville. And solar farms are allowed in industrial zoning, commercial zoning, and ag zoning by special exception. Our special exception process is pretty much the same process that the Georgia Model Code calls for. It calls for the name of the person, the address and name of the person on which the solar energy would be located, the applicant's name, the property owner's name, who's going to be the operator, if known, the installation companies, and evidence of the applicant's control of the property, such as a deed, lease, or option, a site plan, a topography map, a visual buffer map, which NextEra has submitted all of that to us, and you all should have a copy of it. The applicants submitted their request on May the 31st, and any solar ordinance that is written after that date, we could not make them be responsible, or we could not make them adhere to those requirements. Anything that anyone would not have to adhere to that requirement because they had started the process prior to them making application. We were told that they felt like there was not enough notice. The zoning procedures law requires at least 15, no more than 45 days for advertisement before the public hearing of the elected officials. Mr. Billy, your zoning administrator, posted the property, sent out property owners letters, and also had it read in the paper prior to that time to be able to keep us within compliance of the zoning procedures law. We do not have the exact word as zoning listed in your ordinance, but under utility substations and the way we have treated zoning panels in the other parts of the region as a accessory use in the ag district, that is the way we have treated it here also. Out of the model code, it tells you that large-scale solar energy sources should be approved in residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural by a special exception use permit. They've covered all of this. It also says in that solar ordinance, the Georgia Model Solar Ordinance, that a county or city may be more or less concerned with impacts to farmland. Counties and cities should always first consider how their existing zoning code treats development on agricultural land. Solar energy farms should be treated no differently than any other type of development. The property owners of NextEra, they will also have to comply with federal and state laws. It says in the solar ordinance, it says the community should keep in mind that the required list of species that have the potential to be present on the property, but that there may not actually be any individuals located there. It says developers will still have to comply with the state and federal laws for wildlife protection. as well as Historic Preservation Section 106, EPD for Environmental Protection, Army Corps of Engineers, Fish and Wildlife, DNR for land disturbance and soil and erosion. Some of the people that showed up for the Planning Commission submitted this in as part of evidence. And when you look at the Miami plantation, nowhere in this, after we researched it, shows that any of these are on the Miami plantation. As a matter of fact, the only closest thing we could find was in an uncertain location near the project site. So I'd like to submit this to the commissioner. It would be the Miami plantation there and on the back. It goes as far out as 10 to 12 miles beyond the located project site. There have been unfounded allegations of solar panels releasing hazardous chemicals and creating health risks for the surrounding community. A quick review of science, however, reveals that there is almost no health risk associated with the materials in the solar energy system. Solar energy predominantly consists of very strong glass and aluminum, which pose no health risk. All other materials are contained within the panel. These other materials, most often silicone, but some cadmium, telluride, copper, and gallium, they do not simply leak out of the panels. They could only be released in the panels if they were ground up into a fine dust, which is unlikely, or exposed to an extremely high heat at temperatures that very few fires ever reach. There also has been some inquiries into whether electronic or magnetic fields from solar energy systems can pose health threats. Solar energy systems produce the same type of electric and magnetic fields as household appliances and wiring, and at levels much lower than what cell phones and microwaves produce. Inverters and transformers used with the solar energy system are the greatest source of electric and magnetic fields, but even these generally produce less than the common household. Finally, solar panels do not attract sunlight, but instead convert the sunlight that falls onto the surface into energy. And in closing, the only thing that we did not have, did not have in your current zoning code is a decommissioning plan. Now, according to the model ordinance, a solar ordinance may require a decommissioning plan. Zoning codes generally only require decommissioning plans on very impactful developments, which solar development is not. Many solar ordinances nevertheless require decommission plans for solar energy systems. This may be because widespread solar development is relatively new and communities seek reassurance that the full life cycle of the solar energy system has been considered. Or counties and cities may simply be reacting to concerns over other abandoned developments within the community. When a decommissioning plan is required, it should not be extensive. Only a few pages that would require who is responsible for the decommissioning, when the decommissioning must happen, what structures would be removed, and how the materials would be recycled or reused. Also, because of widespread large-scale solar energy is relatively new, some countries and cities express concern about what will happen to systems no longer in operation. Concerns about the long-term impact to the land are generally unfounded. Solar energy systems are very safe and rarely, if ever, contaminate the land on which they are installed. Multiple recycle programs are already focusing on solar panels, and the recycling industry is expected to expand rapidly as solar energy systems begin being decommissioned on a large scale. Planning Commission did not feel comfortable making a recommendation. We had one gentleman on the Planning Commission that recommended approval. It died for a lack of a second. I was out one member of the planning commission, and the other two commissioners did not feel comfortable giving a yes or a no. So I'm bringing this case before you tonight with two choices. You could table it to go back to the planning commission for further study, or you could act on it tonight with no recommendation from the planning commission. Staff, myself, the regional commission, have reviewed this application. We find that it meets all the necessary requirements of the special exception within your zoning ordinance, and we recommended approval. I'll be glad to answer any questions if you don't have some.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And now we'll listen, we'll stand, to the public.